Thanks for tuning in today. So this is going to be our second video in my Teach the World to Sing series. So if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe, share the video if you find these helpful. Feel free to follow me on any of my social media that are also listed in the video. Let's just jump right into it. Like I said, this is my Teach the World How to Sing series. This is the second one. So I'm still working on getting the formatting down for each video as this is new. So please bear with me in the process. Soon we'll get it streamlined and down pat. First thing we want to do is I want to start with breath work for every video. And so we'll jump into that now. So last time we inhaled for 3 seconds, we held that breath for 3 seconds, we exhaled for 3 seconds, and then held the air out for 3 seconds. So what we'll do this time is we'll use some dice and we'll just pick a number to go with. You can pick a random number for you. I'm going to roll some dice. And we'll just go with 1 die for today. Let's see. Uh-oh. I had to roll a few times. 1 wouldn't get the point across. So we went with 4. So we're going to hold it for 4 seconds. So let's roll a second die. And that's 6. So let's do a shorter one. All right. So 4, we have 4 and 4. So let's go ahead and we're going to inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4, and we're going to repeat that 4 times. Okay? All right, so here we go. So we're going to inhale, hold, exhale, hold. All right, so that's our first time through. So we talked about this a little bit last time, and I want to go into a little bit more in-depth discussion about it. So when you breathe in, your lungs are in your chest, so you will feel this start to expand. Now what we wanted to avoid is lifting this up, getting our body moving too much. Now I mentioned last time you want to put your hands down on your core, and the reason why is because as your diaphragm begins to expand down, as your lungs fill, it's going to push down, and you should feel the expansion mostly kind of in your core. And if you breathe in deep enough, you can kind of feel it start to expand into your back as well. So it might not be the sexiest feeling, get a big bloated stomach, especially with summer around the corner.
But hey, we're all not going to pools and beaches, right?
So we're going to put those hands here, take a deep breath, and we're going to just do it for 4. We're going to do the last 3, try to do them in sequence. If 4 is too long for you, that's fine. You can go shorter. If it's too short for you, challenge yourself on the last one maybe and see if you can go longer on each one. I'm going to stick with 4. So here we go. Hands on our core so we can feel it. And we're going to breathe in and go. Holding. Inhale. Hold. Hold. And the last one. Hold. Hold. All right, so that's our breath work. And you should feel your diaphragm. You should feel this kind of expanding. It might be kind of hard to get this out of it. So the thing is with singing, you want to have as little change as possible because you want to try to maintain that shape. A picture I like to keep in my head is like a trumpet or a saxophone maybe. Like you have one solid shape, you might hit the paddles and you might hit the buttons on top. But for the most part, the shape is rigid. It's really tight. And there's just little changes in where the air flows, and that changes how it flows, how it sounds, and so forth. So I try to think of my throat doing all that work, but staying in the same, as close to the same shape as possible. It's going to eventually make all your vowels and all your words sound really good, really smooth, and very connected by keeping a very similar shape back here. We can talk more about shaping of the lips and then the mouth, tongue, and all that stuff. But again, that'll be further down the line as we're just jumping right into like the basics. So what we did last time is we just focused on humming, and that's a great way to warm up. Also, just talking in a normal speaking voice could be a good way to warm up if you're already a talkative person. If you don't talk a lot, I tend not to talk a lot for several reasons, but I also like to rest my voice. So humming is a good way to get your voice going. So you can just hum. All right, and so we did that last time. But we also talked about modulating pitch or changing it up and down. So now you can just take that same hum and move it up and down. Again, no specific pattern. We're not doing a particular scale. We're just changing the pitch up and down. And we're going to do that one more time and really try to feel what your throat's doing back in here. We'll talk about that a little bit later. So we're going to go ahead and hum one more time. All right, so that's pretty good for warming up your voice. It really doesn't take that long, especially if you're singing very regularly, staying very well hydrated. So that's a chance to take a quick drink. So today I'm drinking the throat coat tea, that I like to drink a lot. It's made with slippery elm bark. It has licorice root and lots of other different plants and barks and different botanicals that will help soothe your throat along with the warm water. So if you just want to do warm water, that's great too, with a little lemon maybe or lime. But just hydrating yourself throughout the day, resting your voice, warming it up, those things are going to help protect your voice as you start to use it more and more. Who knows? All right, so we did our humming to warm up our voice. So now let's jump back into those exercises that we did last week, where we hum and then open the mouth for sound. And we're going to do that on our same 7 vowels. So we're going to go ah, ah, eh, and Okay, we're going to add ooh today. So remember, we start with humming and then move into the vowel. We're just reviewing, so we're going to go through kind of quick on this one. So, ma, a, e, So these are all basic vowels that we use, and we're gonna go through again, and I'm just gonna pick random pitches. Again, we're not worrying about the note, whether it's a B flat or an F. We're not worrying about that right now. We're just gonna get used to moving the voice again. So we're gonna hum, and then make the vowel, and then we're gonna go up and down in pitch. So we're doing 2 things now with our voice on top of the breathing. So, a, e, a, e, So again, I'm just kind of singing and speaking around my speaking voice. My normal singing voice is usually a little bit higher for where I start, and everyone's voice will be a little bit different. Some people like to sing lower than their speaking voice. Some people sing about at their speaking voice, and some people speak just a little bit up. And we're not really going to talk about different types of singing voices right now. Again, we're just sticking right to the basics. But if that's something you guys want to talk about or have a video done about, feel free to comment below and let me know what you'd like to work on. So one more time, we're going to go through those vowels, and then we're going to introduce more vowels, our diphthong, or what you might know as long vowels from your phonics back in elementary school. Again, our basic vowels, a, e, All right. So now we got through those vowels. Very good job. And we're gonna move into our long vowels. So these are our A, E, I, O's, and U's. And then these are diphthongs. That means they're made up of two different sounds that are just done in succession, so it sounds like one to the ear. So instead of ah, you add the I, and then you get I. 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 I don't know if you can hear it, but I can. I. 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 So, I, I. Probably could hear it a little bit better then. So now we're going to move into our next vowel, and that's going to be our eh, which is going to give us a. So a, 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 a. A, 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 a. So that's a, and e. Sounds really funny, but it's kind of cool, I think at least. So now we have e, and that's just a little lowercase I, and that's e, and that's what gives us a lot of our longer vowels. So e, 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 e. E also has its reputation of being one of the tougher notes to sing, especially as you move up higher into your register, and that tends to make you want to close up a lot, and closing the throat too much ends up with no sound or a very strained sound. But more than anything, it's not a very it's not going to be the most efficient way to sing if you want to get the best quality out of your voice over time. Of course, that varies by the style that you're singing, and that's going to be up to you making stylistic choices. But this is just kind of basic technique to get your foundation set in your voice. So we've hummed and we went to our basic vowels. We've hummed and gone to our long vowels, our diphthongs. Now we're going to go into O and then U. So, o, 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 now we're gonna go into U. Now U is a little bit different because this is a vowel. This is a vowel. My Oklahoma's coming out. This is a vowel that is made up of. So this is made actually technically out of a consonant. It's the y sound, y. So that's y, like we learned in school. A, E, I, U, sometimes y. And this is one of those times where it's gonna function as a part of a vowel. And that's why it kind of gets that reputation sometimes, at least phonetically. In spelling, it's a little bit different because we don't necessarily write we don't really write for spelling how we write for pronunciation. We use the IPA, which is the International Phonetic Alphabet that's used in linguistics. That way it has one symbol, one sound. So that way it has one symbol to one sound. That's really the beauty of IPA. So now we're gonna work on U. So this is going to be a little bit weird. The hum, it kind of sounds like moo, but I'm not really saying moo. It says moo. It just kind of comes out that way. It's an Elysian. It's an Elysian. The sounds kind of merge together. So now we're going to go right into the U. So you, 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 and then so now we have all of our vowels. We have a, e, o, o, and u, and then we have a, e, I, o, and u. So that's our lesson for today. We went from humming. We went from humming to open to our basic vowels, and we went from humming into more of our long vowels. Now this idea of long vowel, short vowel, diphthong, monophthong. That will become a lot more clear as we move on into words, which I think we'll be ready for the next lesson. We can move into singing with actual words. I still don't want to introduce necessarily chords, pitches, specific notes just yet, because I really just want you to get comfortable with the idea of moving your voice and just thinking higher, lower, or maintaining. And we can work on how to make those changes a little bit better, a little bit more efficiently, before you really worry about words. And then we can move on into songs and different things like that will help you kind of find your voice. And you can play with like rock styles, you can play with more operatic styles, classical sounds. On that note, one thing I want to talk about is right now I'm not really flipping my voice, so going up to a head voice or a falsetto voice, and I'm trying not to drop too low. I don't work in my lower register as much as I probably should. So take it from me, if you can, work that lower register, because it helps you find a certain sense of grounding, especially as you want to... Hey, sorry about that, my camera died. So what I was saying is you want to make sure that you're working your lower register, because not only does it help you strengthen your lower register and you find that, but as you continue singing and training your voice, what you'll notice is that if you can really get solid in that low place, it makes it easier and gives you a great foundation or place to jump from when you do start to do bigger leaps, bigger glides, maybe runs, things like that, when you're using your voice more stylistically and creatively. So when I said flipping, that means I'm not going up into a head voice. I'm just keeping it down here low. And that's different between singing up a little higher, because right here my voice still hasn't flipped, and I can take it up. So right about there I have to flip. So there's lots of range that you can play with on the top, but there's also and there's range down there. And then so the more you get used to going up and down your voice, sliding, it makes you feel more comfortable, and it strengthens it, and it becomes less of a thought and more of just an action. You know where that place is, you know that formation in your throat that you have to make with those muscles in there, and it makes your job a lot easier. And that's like not warmed up, that's just kind of going. I haven't been taking the best care of my voice lately, but working on it, that's a part of this video. But as you can see, there's lots of room to work with, and you don't have to go up. You can also practice going down and up, and then down and up. So, So one thing I'm hearing in my voice is that I'm not getting a lot of closure. And we'll talk about closure and how the vocal cords work and more the function of the epiglottis, how all that works. We'll focus on how all that works in the next video, because this video's already been long enough. So thanks again for watching. We reviewed what we did last time, and we built on top of it. So we went from just humming to our basic vowels to humming with our long vowels, our diphthongs. So a, e, I, o, u, and oo. And then with our long vowels, a, e, I, o, and u. And remember, U puts in the palatalization with the Y sound, so U. Hopefully this has been helpful, and I hope you had fun. Feel free to play around with your voice and see how it helps you in the shower, in the car, or when you're singing with yourself, or when you're singing with your friends, or wherever you do your singing. Again, thanks for watching. Feel free to subscribe if this video helped, or you think it could help someone, or if you think it'll bother someone. Who knows? Share it anyway. Thanks. So now we're gonna work on you. So this is gonna be a little bit weird. Thanks. Subscribe.